Partying is cool. Dying is not.
Fantastic. It was fantastic.
Natalie is fantastic.
It's going to be fantastic. I mean, it's going to be...
Yeah, absolutely fantastic. And it's awesome. I'm enjoying it. Absolutely awesome.
I'm so happy. George is so happy. It's just fantastic.
Had a little bit of money, so the Lord did me good. Got all kind of shit. Got the glow sticks. I got the gotcha bag. Got the Hawaiian punch. Man, everybody won't holler at pop what you need. I got it. If I ain't got it, I can find it. You understand? I'm selling glow sticks. Glow sticks that go with the yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Living in America. There's nothing wrong. No, I'm not. Yeah, I'm out on love. Out on love. Alone from night to night, you find me.
Concerned about that?
No, Dageshan. I'm concerned because there's nothing wrong.
And what are you going to say to your fans when they ask you some...
I'm going to say I feel good. Papa's got a brand new bag. It's a man's world.
What you're going to be doing on this tour?
Jam.
Source, there you are.
And we'll be doing a lot of good things, and hopefully we'll get Brother Ted Turner on the cover. Ted, where you at? Hasta luego.
Because you frickin' fricks just can't ever be quenched. Your fantasies can't ever be quenched, can they? You frickin' fricks! When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences? You guys keep on asking for Sonic Adventure 3, and you're ruining the Sonic series. Hasn't it already suffered enough?
You know, might go off, or I don't know, what kind of practical jokes do you play?
Well, with my new chemistry set, thanks to Brie Larson, I do like to make stink bombs.
Welcome to the Bombadcast.
What's up, Bombad fam? Welcome, you frickin' fricks, to another frickin' Bombadcast. When will you learn? When will you learn that your actions have consequences in this digital space and in the real world, and also here every Thursday night? Your actions do have consequences. Sometimes they make your show disappear. You know, it is what it is. But listen, we're glad you're all here. I am Jerry the Cannon Junkie. Yes, it's good to be here. Bombadcast is a little channel on YouTube. We do several other shows. By several, I mean 2 others. And the one you're on right now, this is the main show. This is the big enchilada, as they say. This is the Bombadcast. It's the one you're here for. Come on. Like, this is this is the main event. And look, these other shows are great too. And honestly, you don't want to miss the content because it's getting even better. Every Wednesday, actually. And speaking of yesterday, actually, we have Bombad Gaming. My buddy Scotty. There he is. He sits down 8 p.m. Central, 9 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday, plays a game like this. You look here. It looks like this, you know, all cyberspacey and stuff. Kids, cyberspace is a word that you wouldn't understand if you were born after the 90s. So anyway, but guys, listen, Scotty plays a bunch of really fun games. He's been playing the last couple of weeks Fortnite, and I actually get to sit down with him this week, and that was me and our buddy Trey from Skywalking the League. My gosh, that was so much fun, and we're so glad. A lot of you, I think, were probably in the chat there and everything. So listen, we're glad you're here. Always check out Bombad Gaming. Follow Scotty and buy him food because the man he's about to fall over just from malnutrition. But if you're free, maybe on every other Saturday, and actually coming up next Saturday, October 1st, I'm going to have a guest with me on Hyperfocus, usually someone from our Star Wars community that, sits down. We have a conversation, a little chit chat, a bit of a sing song, a little cordiddle, and discuss maybe something that isn't Star Wars. And we invite you onto the show. So guys, come check out all that stuff. But you know what? You're not here for Bombad Gaming. You're not here for Hyperfocus. You're here for the main show. You're here for Bombadcast. I almost forgot the name of the show for a second. So I'm going to go ahead and bring in my lovely co-host. I'm going to say the Boba Fett to my Fennec Shand. Maybe the other way around. We Shand no at this moment. But you know what? I'm going to start making wordplay and bring in my buddy Scotty.
The girls love you for your the girls love you for your wordplay. From what I've read, that's pretty good stuff. You're a real poet.
It's definitely a phrase that ends in play that I probably can't say here. You stop! I told you. I warned you on Twitter. Boop. Okay, come on.
Hey, by the way, I want to share something off. We actually have an official website now. I know I bought the domain, but
a long time ago too. Like
Rick
this has been sitting. Right, it's been sitting in like the back of your junk drawer.
So check this out. You're gonna love this. Watch.
What do you got? What do you got?
It is a full website now, thanks to a particular patron of ours, William Hardy. So William has been dedicating his free time to doing. Look, he literally edits the website daily. Look, it's a full site. It is a full site. It's got the most recent episode from Anchor. It's look, and even better. Watch. Let me show you. This is even cooler. You can even go to the store, and it'll take you directly to our store site. It has all the other merchandise listed. This is all, I know. Just wait, even better. We also have the patron, which hyperlinks to our Patreon as well.
Oh my God!
And he wrote the full thing out on Bad Karaoke.
William, goddamn, William, if you keep this up, you're going to have to stop paying us money. We're going to start paying you, or you're going to have to keep paying us. You're going to have to pay us more money so we can pay you.
Dude, he's now also got an episode breakdown. He's going to work on that later. He also has an about me, which Gerry, if you don't mind writing an about me about yourself, you can. So he's working on it. So it's wonderful, right? That's what I want
William to write my about me. I want William to make up like a fiction about what my life is. No, I'm just kidding.
So wait, besides this, I wanna say one thing. We had a very, very successful podathon. I'll bring that up in a second. But I will say
very much.
We are going to be jumping back into our Patreon. If you want to be a support, get exclusive giveaways. Like we have one coming up in October, some certain buttons. $7 a month. You can join. The perks will be coming back at least for the last couple of at least from August to September. It was kind of lacking because of everything that went into planning podathon. But I'm very happy to say that starting Wednesdays, we haven't mentioned this yet, starting Wednesdays, we'll be doing our Andor recaps at 7:15 to 7:45, and then Bombad Gaming right after. So we'll be doing our Andor recaps just for our patrons. They might even last long. They might last 10 minutes.
Man.
We're just going to go in. We're not even going to do all the preamble stuff. We're just going to go in and just be like, hey, what'd you think? Thought it was good. So unless there's a really
Did you like when that one thing with that one, ship that was in the prequels was all oily, like this time?
Did you see the N1 Starfighter? I sure did.
Yeah.
There'll be a lot of that. So I'm very excited.
When he touched the hut? That was great.
Yes, he did.
And now Bombad Gaming.
Yes. So there's a lot that's going to be coming on the pipeline. Very happy to say that. But I got to bring up an event that we helped run, that Gerry helped produce in the back, and I was producing in the front.
Back of house.
Podathon. Yes, we had an extremely successful Podathon this year, raising over $16,000. $16,600.
Shut up. That's not real. Woo! That's not real. That was a fever dream.
That was incredible.
Weekend. It feels like, but no,
unreal.
Thank you to all of you, because that's the only reason why we were able to do that.
That's it.
Because of y'all. And so
that's right.
Proven that Star Wars fans, that not all Star Wars fans are whiny little, scronos, as
It's
a
incredible.
word that I learned from Andor. I'm gonna use not whiny little scronos. Where a lot of us like to give back.
That's right. And it was twice what we raised in 2021. That's right. And I think it's triple or quadruple what we made. No, more than that. It was 8 times more than what we made in 2020. So it's a lot, y'all. It's been amazing.
We were like in a circus tent that first year. I believe it was raining and everything. Rick McCallum was throwing chairs or something.
That's right.
I can't remember exactly.
But what's important too about Podathon is that not only did it bring us a lot of money for Make-A-Wish, and not only is it going to help someone, make their wish come true, it allowed us to work with a couple of our favorite people, Pete Fletcher, Nick Milkey, and we had even Alden, Jared, the Grey Jedi.
William. No. Don't say, listen, you're going to start. Listen, they're already eating this stuff up. They're already eating this shit up. Like we're
not Take-A-Wish. We're not Take-A-Wish. So, no. So one thing I will say too, that I want to bring up is that we had a really good time getting this thing together and off the ground. And by the way, for those that don't know, to bring myself big, Sunday nights, if you are available, Bombadcast is not doing a stream. We're doing a premiere. So the full 1 hour and 35-minute interview with Seth Green comes out that evening. And we'll be in the chat commenting, giving feedback, talking about stuff. And it's fully uncut. I think there's only 2 cuts because there was a couple of things that I was like, hey, can you read this ad read? So I got rid of that so you don't want to see me be awkward.
No, that's right. All the awkward pauses are in there, everyone.
Yeah,
it's great.
It's great.
It's, with the conversation killers, all of it's in there. No, I'm just kidding. The conversation went for an hour and a half. It was great.
It was
an hour 45.
And it's a fantastic interview. I'm very proud of it. I know Gerry is too. So something to look forward to. I'm very excited that people will actually get to see the full thing this time. So
it just still like you look at yourself in the mirror and go, This face is talked to.
I did. You know what's
talked
funny?
To Toto 360.
Just wait.
Which isn't a huge thing. It's like, it's just he's a nice guy. He wanted to help out a cause, which is great.
But still, man, there's something to that. Like, literally, you're gonna love this. I was watching his interview with Larry King, and I'm like, I spoke to someone that was interviewed that got interviewed by Larry King, and now I'm conducting an interview
6 degrees of Kevin Bacon to Larry King now.
So bizarre.
It's weird.
So bizarre.
I feel like that sounds like maybe sounds like we're bragging. We're not trying to. We truly can't believe it like you guys. It's just we're excited that we got to do any of this.
And it was wonderful. The whole thing was wonderful.
All of the praise and all that stuff to you, Nick and Pete, for putting this on. I mean, especially I know for sure you put a lot of blood, sweat, and tears into this. So we're very proud of you over here in Bombad House.
It'd be one thing if it wasn't worth it, but every second of that whole entire discussion and moment was beyond worth it. But Gerry, we're here for one reason and one reason only.
Yes, to humble brag.
No, to discuss the wonderful show that aired. Now, a couple of things before that. What was our expectations? What was your expectations? Because I know you saw the trailer Celebration when I did as well. When you saw that trailer, did you have anything go through your mind?
So I think out of the two of us, I think I'm the least hostile to Rogue One. And by least hostile, I mean I dig it. Everything,
that's fair.
So please come on the screen because now I feel
no,
I'm throwing tomatoes off the stage here at this point.
It's fine.
But I was excited to watch it. Like I was like, oh yeah, Andor's gonna be really good.
Yeah.
We have Tony Gilroy coming back. It's gonna be incredible. I was more excited, I think, watching the Kenobi trailer. Yeah. When it came out, I agree. Again, not because the trailer for Andor they dropped at Celebration, it was great. It looked good. It was it had my favorite space bell ringer.
I was gonna do it.
Bong, the man who loves his job. He does the he makes guttural noises as he hits the bell.
So cool.
It's so cool. Good.
And to know that
a little Lord of the Rings feeling as well.
There was some context. There was some context. Now it's the wake up and the end of the day, clock in, clock out bell. I'm like, that's
it's the local clock tower of above like the courthouse.
Yes.
That sings "Oh What a Beautiful Morning" in chimes every day.
Yes.
We have one of those in Pearwood, Arkansas, where I'm
really.
I'm just
That's
saying.
kind of cool.
Oh yeah. Everything. I mean, I used to work at a bank right there, and I mean, you heard it all the damn time. Yeah, it was great. Anyway, this is what they came here for, is to hear about the chimes at my old courthouse in Arkansas.
Time Grappler. So. That's what they called it. So cool. What a cool name.
Wait, that's what they called that?
Yeah.
That bell? That gong? That giant anvil? It honestly it reminds me of an episode of Animaniacs where they inherit a kingdom, the kingdom of Anvilania.
Yeah.
Where they basically like it's where all anvils come from.
Whoa, bro.
Which is cartoon. Yeah, bro. Anyway,
sweet,
they play anvils. They play anvils and it sounds like that. So
bro, you'll like this, bro. Arkansas isn't real. Oh man.
No, it's not. I'm actually a hologram.
Whoa.
So
whoa.
I might have took a couple rips of
the hologram.
The hologram before I got on here, so
Okay, well, stay Bombad.
Stay Bombad.
No, anyway. But in all seriousness, watching the show and the trailer before it, I was like, you know what? I'm excited for it. Then there was that phrase, which we'll get to at the end of this discussion, the dark and gritty phrase, which we'll break down because I don't know if I necessarily like it. Because I don't know if I like if that's how you just. That's what you like about your. I don't know. We'll talk about it. It's kind of it's a hot topic button for me. I'm not gonna lie.
I got to pull back because like I really want to just dive into what the
easier.
Hello, Bill. Listen, it's like I'm just hoping my dad's not watching right now.
So preconceived notions for me were like, okay, yes, I'm not a big fan of Rogue One. Y'all know that. I enjoy it. It's a great movie, but it's not my thing, right? And for a lot of people it's their thing, for reasons we can discuss, reasons we can not discuss, but some people have a lot of love for that movie and I understand and respect it. I always will. But going into the show, I was hoping it would help me like Rogue One more, and these first 3 episodes sold me on Cassian. And not that I wasn't sold on Cassian, I more wasn't sold on Jin, but that's a whole different story. I just felt like the story, I don't know, it's like about the movement or about the person. I couldn't figure out what the movie was about. What?
This guy doesn't like Wham and
misogynist over here.
It's not into it.
Yep. But that being said, you watch this show and you watch the trailer for it and you're like, okay, this is definitely a different tone. And we'll discuss the show obviously in the next few seconds. But I want to ask the chat, did it meet your expectations, chat? Because I know some people in here, I know William's seen it. I'm sure Nick's seen it. Almost Positive Boop seen it. I mean, everyone else in here, Brian, other Brian, Seth. I mean, there's like some people in here. I'm eager to hear your thoughts because there's a lot of interesting words being thrown around with the show, and there is a lot of pretty interesting choices in terms of creativity that we haven't seen from a Star Wars show, which is kind of nice. Okay, so it exceeded them. That's pretty good. I like that.
Okay, I think honestly, I might actually be in that camp.
Yeah, me too.
Not that I wasn't expecting anything. It's just, it was what I expected, but yet it did the unexpected, if that makes sense. If I may coin if I may say something that doesn't make any damn sense.
No, it's not bad because you got to think like you go into a show like this and there's a certain set of fans, which we can talk about now just to get it over with. There's a certain set of fans that like Rogue One because it's like a war story and it's all about death and the main characters had to die. Like that's people's
it's
love
like
for
everyone's.
that movie.
I'm glad that like society as a whole is not a screenwriter because like society as a whole usually goes, well, that character's not in X, Y, or Z, so
they gotta be
obviously they're dead because this is like all the. You're like it's like a newborn infant.
Yeah.
Who like, when your parents leave the room, they fucking disappear. I mean, come on. Like it's you think that they can't just be out in the universe somewhere? Anyway.
No, it's interesting because
it's just it's
look,
sad.
This is true. And we'll talk about this for a second. The part that made me cry, which is very interesting, and we're full spoilers, by the way. This show is full spoilers for this next
We're
part
about
of
to go balls to the wall with the spoilers, guys. Watch out. Here we go.
For the first time in a while, when you see a death in a movie, and obviously if it's well done, you do get emotionally, you're like, oh wow, like why it's impactful, right? They took a character in this show that I did not like, which is Binks's boyfriend or lover, whoever that was. And when
Tim.
they killed him,
Is Tim
it
with
was
2 M's.
Tim with 2 M's. I was like, oh my, I never thought Star Wars would make me feel kind of how you feel when you watch like the and this is a very, I need to watch the way I say this because I don't want it to sound like it's this, but what it essentially was is when a police officer doesn't know how to calm down a situation, and the only result is to shoot the person, and it can either be fatal, or not fatal. And in this scenario in the show,
it's still damaging.
It was fatal. And even though Binks was, or Bix, did I say her name?
Bix. It's
Bix.
Bix. I know we want to say Binks. I saw someone say Jar Jar Bix.
It's the accents. I'm like, it's Bix. Okay, so even when Bix has that, when Bix had that moment where she's mad at Tim, I was like, oh, like this is kind of hard. And then he gets killed, and I'm like,
well, he ratted on them too. Yes. So it's like, I hate you, Tim. Like trust is
gone. Lies.
But also don't be a narc, and also especially with stuff like that in a fascist regime. And places that are starting to anyway. And also like,
no, bring that up because that's important. That's the theme of this show, is that fascism is not. Everyone thinks fascism is a dictator standing up, and Star Wars it is. But fascism also
the marching with the boots out. They think it's the stormtroopers. They don't know that it's also the local police force. It's also, it's in small things. It's in people. It's in turning in your neighbor because you're scared or something. It's ruling by fear and intimidation, which is the Empire and some other countries.
Well, it's America. No, that's not
to remain nameless.
That's no. That America right now, with where we're at, it seems like some people are too trigger happy in every situation, right? And like,
everyone seems to be on edge for no reason.
It's very interesting. Not for no reason, but for
no. They're on edge for very bad reasons.
Yes, and you watch this show do it in a way that you're like,
intimidation.
Ooh, this is the inverse of that. Like, we talk about it in Star Wars. We've talked about fascism, but then you watch something like a man with a gun who has too much power and being told what to do, just boom. And I'm like,
well, I still was,
because of her, because she was getting beat up. She was the one getting beat up, and I'm like, this is hard to watch.
So listen, what I love is these are not, and Star Wars has some of these, but Star Wars is a morality tale. We have our good characters or bad characters. And even the morally gray characters have hearts of gold, and are like, I'm still pretty, actually, I'm a good guy. But in this, we have real people. Not again, like, oh, finally we get some realness in Star Wars. Because I feel like you have real themes throughout all of it.
Of course.
But that's a real person, because you can, a real person can make a terrible mistake and still be like, that's just a person. Like if he lived longer, maybe he could have come back from it. But again, you have him. He's still what he went to like see about her and like save her, and then like
he gets killed.
He's not in the right.
No, he's not
in the right. But also, he didn't deserve to
die.
I'm sorry, to die.
But dude, that's the whole thing with like police brutality. Obviously, in America, like you could talk about the George Floyd thing in circles, and I'm not smart enough to talk about it, but I can tell you this much: whatever that man was doing wrong, if he was doing anything wrong, he didn't deserve to die. No one deserves to die in a high stakes situation. And you watch a show like this, and I'm sitting here and I'm going, and I might tear up, but I'm going, this is actually what I'm seeing.
We're gonna get real with this show.
We're
getting real.
I'm like, this is what I'm going to see in my Star Wars now. And that's kind of beautiful, because you got people who want to ignore that part of reality. And then you come to terms with it, and you have to watch it in an artistic way that doesn't show a white on black crime or a black on white crime. You just see two people who are trying to do the right thing or doing the best thing, and they both suffer for it. And like, you've got those guards, you've got her trying to stop the scenario, then you've got him trying to mediate,
and him trying to get her out, like, hey, what are you doing? It's oh man, it's all heart-wrenching.
Yes, and look, this is when I bring up Boop's comment. Literally, it hit me so hard because it cut between kid and adult casting at the end. Like, like you set up this show, and I will say the 3-episode drop was genius. I don't know if I would have loved it this week to week to week. It would have been good payoff, but there's not enough. This is my only criticism. There's not enough this is bad, but I'm gonna say it. There's not enough Star Wars. Like when you watch Mando, you get like the weak way who says, it kind of feeds you week to week, you get the weird Twi'lek that says McClunky or whatever.
Yeah, you got the little like nods, and this and again, like our friend of the show, Alden Diaz, said the other night, when we were discussing this amongst friends, that it's and again, like he's like you, like he doesn't really care for Rogue One, but he feels like he the way he described it was this show, it goes for the, again, lest we use the term dark and gritty, it goes all in for that, but it still takes time, again, like you said, to have the droid moments at the beginning, B2 emo with the with the hounds, like those look like some sort of like almost Corellian hounds, almost
Corellian
like it's
hounds. They have to be,
like, or like a different like breed, almost like, we got different breeds of Lothcat, like Lothcat, Tuca cat, all that kind of stuff. So that's interesting.
So there's stuff like that. You're right, and like
there's little moments. They
had the Bastoon Legacy looking ship as well, and part
also like, there was a ghost looking ship.
Oh, really?
I'm trying to remember the exact designation. I can't remember if y'all in the chat, like
there was a Corellian one, I think that they
it's a YT something, I think.
Oh, it was now who does Stellan Skarsgård, is it Stellan Skarsgård? What is his name?
Stellan,
okay,
the character's name.
See, that's the thing, I'm having a hard time. Okay, I'm having a hard time with these characters' names, and I don't know why. Maybe it's because they don't say it enough. I don't know.
Well, and I will say I had a little bit of a hard time
British
at the beginning
accents
too, because the British accents of the guards, are like, I mean, it's like we're trying to talk. It's like we're trying to have tea with Charlie Ashby. It's like, oi, guys, what's you like to say about that, eh?
And it's dark and everything. It's weird. It's like I want to put subtitles on, but also, unfortunately, subtitles usually end up ruining the scene because something
you gotta watch it cold
happens
first, then you go like, because that's what I've done. That's how something I wanted to bring up, and we don't have to go away from what we were talking about, but we have a new and honestly, with the theme of the show, what we've been talking about, like fascism, racism, classism, stuff like that, which are again big themes that George has touched on, but this is really like putting the finger on that pulse.
And also
you have what I am assuming is a slur, which is new, or like it reminded me of Scug. From the Clone Wars, with the slavers from Kadavo, but they call him Scrano at the beginning, and I feel dirty even just saying it, but it's a space slur.
But also, it's like,
anyway, it's interesting. We've got new stuff still being introduced.
Exactly. And I think it'll continue to do that. Like there was some different Star Warsy things they'd never done in the show before, where they had text on a screen when they show him reading the computer. I was like, whoa,
I have it playing right here. Dude, that was very jarring
that
at first.
Was
not necessarily in a bad way. I was like, oh, okay. But the fact that it came up and it was all full on English, which is like fine. Again.
But it was Arabesh.
I can't read Arabesh. Right. That's just for you, but it's again a very modern storytelling thing that we haven't seen in Star Wars. That had you told me at the Disney acquisition they're going to do this thing where they put a text message on screen,
I know.
I'd be like,
come
on, you talking about, Willis?
Don't do that. What was the other thing they did too? They said shit. That blew my mind. I was like,
that.
Whoa!
Well, and it was a very warranted one.
It was
too.
well
it wasn't
done. God, it wasn't
well
done.
Just thrown in. And again, like we knew it was coming because we'd heard from I think either maybe our friends who had seen, or I forget if a publication put it out. The publications were talking about all the firsts in this, and there are in these first 3 episodes alone. This is groundbreaking for Star Wars. I wouldn't necessarily call this one a family one, but I wouldn't say that it's inaccessible.
This is how I described it. I described it to my stepdad tonight. I said it's a lot like the British. Okay, for those that don't know, if you go on Netflix, like, is it Luther or Luth? Is that the name of it? It's the one with the Idris Elba, and it's like a British.
Luther, Luther,
okay, it's like Luther, or it's like those British mystery shows that are like really. It's like the conversations.
Spy thriller.
Yes, the conversations are all real. Like when Cassian fights with his adoptive mother. What's her name? See, that's the problem. These names don't really sit with me well.
I
know.
Marva?
That's the problem. Marva. So that was
Marva
like,
Andor.
that was like the first one in Star Wars where they start talking.
Sorry,
over
I'm sorry. Don't have someone else's mom's name be Marva, because then we're gonna have like a whole like Martha thing in Star Wars kind of a thing. Anyway,
real quick,
I'm sorry.
I was surprised by the talking over of each other in that fight, because Star Wars doesn't do that either. Usually it's just lines and lines, but it was like, no, I'm like, whoa, I'm like, this is nuts.
Right.
Like they're actually like screaming at each other. Like that's kind of awesome.
Well, and like, not that Star Wars dialogue isn't real or like it doesn't make you feel things, but it's designed to be. Star Wars dialogue and writing, I feel like, is more designed, usually in the movies and everything, is designed to be like, here's the story we're presenting you.
Yeah.
And again, it's in a believable way, but this very much just goes all in, even more so than like Rogue One even still had that like kind of like, that, like, this is a Star Wars story thing.
Poetic speaking. This one,
and again, this feels like a Star Wars story, but again, like you're saying, the performances, the conversations, the acting, is
the way it's shot, very real, different, very different,
real to life. Yes,
yeah. And it's funny, like there's arguments to be made that like this is definitely the best looking Star Wars show, and I will agree actually. And I usually try to look at I love the volume, and when you don't know it's the volume, and you don't know it looks like the way it does, like the first season of Mando, we didn't know what the volume was, and you're watching it, and you're like, man, these are incredible. Great special effects. Your mind was blown. But whenever you end up watching a show like this, you can almost tell, though, some of this is practical, some of this isn't. Like, there's that one shot of them looking at the window. Them looking at the window, I'm like, they're not looking at the vault. Like, that's an actual window. That's a set behind them. People are running through. I'm like, this feels pretty real. Like, your eyes don't get tricked in the way that it does when you watch Mando.
Yeah.
So it's funny, like you take a show like Andor, and I know the budget had to have been way higher than Mandalorian, but you could tell.
Oh my goodness.
Unfortunately, you can really tell in some scenarios, like
right. And again, not like we love the special.
Oh my God,
what they're doing with the volume is absolutely groundbreaking.
Of course,
but it's a
and
new
it will
technology.
Get better. Yeah, it'll get better.
I mean, you're never going to be able. They're trying to do things on a budget,
Yeah.
I mean, they were like testing things out, and like you're never going to beat actually being able to go to a location or build something.
No.
To make, like, for realism, you're not going to beat that. For a long time. I won't say you're not ever, because like there will come a time when, like, we're moved on to the next thing, and like, oh, this is just.
I agree.
We use the volume in every movie now.
So wait, I have something I need to ask you, because this is a canon junkie question, and I mean this sincerely. Was that the first use of BBY?
I'm pretty sure it is. Like in a show.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure. Yeah,
that's
like it has to be.
But like ever besides books, like
I would say no. In video content, in television content, like shows and animated series, is what I'm going to say, and movies.
Yeah,
I don't think it has been used in any of them. But again, correct me if I'm wrong.
Because it's only contextual for us as a viewer. It's not contextual for them, because they don't know the Battle of Yavin has happened yet.
I would say they say BBY then, like before the. I don't know what this is, but it's just like that's what we call.
It's 5 years before it. That's pretty funny. But you watch a show like this, and there's some things that really strike you, and obviously we talked about the themes earlier and things we loved about the themes of this show. But another thing to address is like just the fact that they did some pretty artistic things that I did not expect. Like there was no translation, no subtitles for Cassian's people, which I think is very like, that's very Spielbergian. That's very like, you don't need to know what they're saying. You can watch the scene and get out of it.
Yeah, that's just say you see what's happening. You don't have to know.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Kind of cool. Like
it's
you
very
can feel it.
Yeah, and it's like it adds to the realism, but again, it's still like we're saying, it's still a good story, and it's good storytelling. Again, like what? Don't tell me, show me.
Yes, exactly.
It's 100%. Don't tell me, show me. And so I don't know. They've also, where are the adults?
Yeah, that's
what I want to know.
I want to know too.
Is this the island of misfit children or something?
I think we'll get answers. I think we'll actually get answers.
Will.
Yeah,
we will. I was like, as a parent, I'm like, Like, so at least one. Listen, kids are able, but one grown up go with them, please.
Yeah, somebody.
You know.
So wait, I have to ask you
Someone who's
this
seen a
too,
blaster before, maybe.
because we've talked about the Star Wars nature of these things, right? And I know we've looked at that before, but what I want you to kind of think about just for a second here is like, yes, it was Star Wars. Yes, it felt like Star Wars. There were blasters. There weren't any stormtroopers, but there were people that did certain things, and that's also that's a good
theory.
That's a good theory.
Oh, how many mining disasters happened in the Empire, by the way? Because we're like Jeddah was destroyed in a mining disaster.
I think
how many accidents happen?
Yeah, because he kind of looks on it, which is kind of weird. But I was gonna say, that conversation between Mayfeld and Din in Mando season 2, episode 15, chapter 6, 15, where he's like,
we sound like those parodies.
I know.
Star
I'm
Trek
sorry.
fans and stuff.
I'm sorry.
Episode 15.
So wait.
The Wrath of Flea Blorp.
That conversation where he literally is like, and it's a great moment. He's like, they don't care, these people are they just have their home invaded. They just see us as visitors, I'm like, I'm watching it and I'm like,
you're just someone invading in their home. It doesn't matter what side you're on.
Yeah, we get to see that other flip side of that theme and conversation for once. You're like, oh wow, like that's what these kids maybe experience. It's what they're going through. It's pretty wild in that way, man. I was impressed by that a lot.
Insane. So one thing, like, I think I got a little confused, and I watched them in the morning, and then kind of like half-heartedly last night, while going to sleep. But this was a Confederacy ship that crashed on the planet, right?
I think so. I can't tell.
Because the symbol is the Confederacy symbol, but then she talks about the Republic cruiser being there, and I thought they were raiding the ship, but now I'm kind of thinking maybe they, Marva. Again, we're jumping all around, but Marva finds Cassian on that ship on his own, and maybe they were on it. Yeah, and they're kind of getting things and getting out of there. I don't know. I'd have to rewatch that part. But it I don't know. That's something, because we know he's a separatist.
Yeah,
like we know that. So Marva, I'm assuming, is a separatist. They talk about, hey, Republic cruisers inbound now, and stuff.
Another canon question, because this is something I couldn't figure out at all, and I mean it. Oh, that's a good point. All the dialogue says it's Republic, but the symbol says it was Seppi, so it's separatist. Interesting.
Well, I think they're talking about like there's a Republic cruiser inbound.
Oh, but if
I'm remembering correctly.
Okay.
Again, I'm gonna rewatch them. Like I'm probably gonna be rewatching them like as much as I possibly can.
Now, how did
this weekend?
Tell me this. Maybe I missed this, but how did Bix? How did
Bix?
Bix? How did Bix know Stellan Skarsgård's character? I couldn't figure that out, because she was looking, she noticed him, and she just instantly got up and went and put her money on the table. I didn't get that. I'm confused.
So did you, like, in the first episode, Cassian goes to her. That's what he's saying. He's like, tell your friend he's got that box. He says, tell your friend that I'm willing to sell, or I'm willing to meet him now.
Okay.
And so when she goes to that junk shop, and he's like, oh, back in the back.
Oh,
and she climbs up that thing. That's what she's doing, is contacting
she's calling him. Okay, that makes sense.
So it's like a very fulcrum-y, like it's again, like, we're in that time. Like this is honestly, this is like what it was 5 years before. So it's like the beginning of Rebels.
Yeah, it is.
Is where we're at. So it's like
so
all
weird.
These are all the Rebel cells coming together, and I'm assuming that Luthen has a lot to do, and we don't know what's going to become of his character.
No.
But since he's tied to Mon, he must be connected to the main group, or at least the organizers who are trying to get everyone together. It seems like that too. He does seem like a recruiter.
Yeah, he does.
My God, don't you want to fight these bastards for real?
Crazy.
Sorry, I just had an epiphany with this.
Did you see Rogue One in theaters when they re-released it, Jerry? Did you see that screening? So you saw the preview and everything, the 10-minute preview. So wait, they cut that 10-minute preview way different than what we got in the show, because there was a lot of inner cuts, but dialogue cuts too. And I'm like, oh, well, this gives the whole thing more context now.
They took out most of the context, but it was still a full scene when you saw like what you saw,
Yeah.
And, I don't know. And again, like we've talked a little bit about certain themes and everything. This is chock full of just Star Wars is science fantasy.
Yes.
Right. It's not science fiction usually, but this is the most, I don't want to say science fiction. I mean, it is still a morality tale, but it feels like science fiction. Good science fiction puts a mirror up to society, and oftentimes you don't like what you see. And this feels a little dystopian like that. But again, we're in the dark times and everything, and so I just I don't know. I just find it interesting, and
it's weird, you know. And you bring up a good point. Like we're at the height of when the Empire is a actual thing to be concerned about.
Man.
This is.
I mean, they don't care.
Nope. And it's cool because Katie and I talk this a lot actually. And if it's something enough for her and I to talk about it, that means the show is delivering on a different level than other shows have. Because she looked at me and we were talking about the fact that I was like, I said I've never considered like smaller security bureaus that have to answer to the Empire. And I'm like, that is such a wild like concept that we never considered, you know?
Oh, the police are just the stormtroopers, but no. You've got every planet. It's thousands of planets in this galaxy. You've got to have like smaller forces and everything.
Yeah,
you know,
and they have to be. You know, they have to have a certain jurisdiction over certain planets. And that guy's like, who was the Irish guy? That was an incredible character, by the way. Holy cow. He was back the blue all the way. Jesus Christ.
Say,
oh my God.
So, shout out to our friend Kyle Katarn, who coined this, what do you say? Space farva is what he called that guy.
Oh my God. That's not more
or
accurate.
Fascist farva.
Yeah.
Fascist farva. And again, kids, wait until you're older and watch Super Troopers, or don't. You can miss it.
Well, you watch a show and like, you know, and this is something that they made very clear from the beginning. You're so used to faceless stormtroopers that when scenarios and situations happen like this, and you're like, oh my God, these are people killing people. With stormtroopers, it makes it easier because you can kind of, you know, they're a cog in the machine. But like you watch these people like panicking because there's like an insurrection at the town at one point. They're looking for Cassian. And then all the townsfolk are doing the chimes, and you know, that's the sound of a reckoning. I was like, wow,
okay,
like this is crazy.
So, you've jumped to this part, and we have to talk about how I think a lot of people can watch this and maybe like how you maybe I want you. I think I've heard you and Alden say like the theme of hope is stated throughout Rogue One, but never really feels like it.
It doesn't feel like
again. I would disagree.
Sure, of course,
but this show, I think, could be it could get the rap that it is very hopeless and everything. But that third episode, when everyone is closing their shops and like everyone just immediately is like, we're here for each other. And they're like risking their own lives. I mean, they were banging those things when those guys were walking past. And they're just trying to be tough.
Yep.
You know, like, oh, whatever, you know, they're just trying to spook us or whatever.
And freak us out. Yeah.
And I mean, yes, but also it was like, hey, they're here. But the line of Marva talking to the guy they left to watch her or whatever.
Dude, and that one guy
that's the thesis statement. Woo! That's if you push people, if you squeeze as tight as you again, like the tighter you squeeze, the more star systems will slip through your fingers. It goes right to that. You're right. But it's a more visceral, a more like, this is the rebellion starting to wake up and going, like he talked about, you know, like again, Space Farva talks about pockets of pockets of fomenting.
Yeah.
This is a reckoning. Do you hear that? That's the sound of a reckoning is that'll go down as one of the greatest Star Wars lines.
And he was like, what does that mean? You know, that one guy in the back,
he doesn't know.
Panic.
Yeah.
God. And is that the one that gets the ship and flies off?
No. That's the one who shoots Tim with two M's, but you never guess where.
Yep. God.
Sorry. I'm reminded of Madison with two N's and a Y.
So wait, I want to bring this up to what Katie said. She was obsessed with showing mundane things like making coffee and laying in bed.
The
like
making of calf?
Calf, yep.
Oh. So you could tell a little bit that Henry Gilroy was like, he wrote like basically a real world like story. And he's like, all right, spacify this.
Yeah, just handing it off. God, that's true.
Not in a bad way. Again, like it feels very, again, like you said, it feels very true to life. Like And I mean, that happens after she spends the night with a man, which we've never really seen. Like this show acknowledges that
puts her
sex
pants
is a
back
real
on.
thing.
Puts her pants back on too. I was like, this is pretty cool.
I know, it was like, wow,
this is nuts.
And again, like I'm not saying like, oh yeah, put sex in every Star Wars thing.
No.
Like I want my Star Wars R-rated. I think this is, and honestly, this is as close to and again, I'll eat these words probably. This is the closest we're gonna get to R-rated Star Wars, and this is frankly how you do, quote unquote, grown-up Star Wars, which I don't. Again, I hate saying all these words because it fits in still so nicely.
But it's funny because you can like here's a great example. William's in the chat, and this is we're gonna talk about this in a second. But like I feel like
you mean our website
yes, our website
coordinator?
creator. But it's weird. It's like you I feel like William and his dad or any of my students and their parents could watch this and it wouldn't be uncomfortable like other shows would make it uncomfortable. You know what I mean? It's just casual. It's just super.
The DC movies act like sex exists.
Oh my
God! It's usually in Disney things that they don't like act like sex exists.
Yeah.
And we've gotten it a little bit in Marvel, like a dash.
Yeah.
And a little. We've gotten it more in Marvel than Star Wars. This is just again unprecedented for Star Wars.
Yeah. But it wasn't. But it wasn't in your face. It wasn't. Yeah.
It's not bad.
Like I'll speak to Eternals. I'll speak to Eternals is like they spent way too long on that scene. It was a whole scene for some reason, and I get why. It's about them feeling human and doing things that they wouldn't even be able to do because they can't. But like you watch this show and it's like, no, these people.
I got you started.
No. But these people, the people in Andor, are just lovers and they have bedside talks and they happen to tell each other secrets and like. You know, Cassian being from Kenari was the secret, and I was like, "Yo, like this is crazy that they went that far with it." Like, and I heard this on Force Center. Lying is the undertone of this whole first arc. You know, literally, B2 Emo says, "If
I'm gonna say his full name all the time too." By the way,
because
B2 Emo is just the most badass name like ever. I love B2 Emo.
But B2 Emo, he straight up said he was like, "It takes more power to lie." You know, and I'm like,
processing power when this is an Egypt.
Yes,
that is two lies.
Yep.
He's like, I'll have to. So basically, he'll have to charge up at home.
Yeah,
and
stuff. So wild.
It's interesting and weird. Are all droids like that? But also, I don't think the whole point isn't that. It's just it's an interesting. They're adding such interesting concepts.
They are. They really are.
And again, it's not like anything you need to put a whole series out about.
No,
it's just like, wow, that's a cool new thing to chew on.
Yes,
and it makes the world more rich.
Jerry, did you not? I literally was panicking in my brain, thinking they'd shoot B2 Emo whenever the comm was starting to go off. I was like, for the love of God,
I didn't go there.
I went there. I was like, please don't hurt that sweet droid, because he's like Dio. And I think Pete Fletcher said this, Pete, our friend of the show. I think he said it's like Dio meets K2 meets like 3PO. Like it's like the perfect meets BB.
Meets R2.
Yeah, it's like perfect. So he's nervous, but he's straightforward.
I want him.
And then they showed a cleaner version of him on that separatist ship. I was like, oh,
the not yellow strut and everything.
Yes.
Like it's
so good. I love it. But
very, very good.
We gotta say thanks, by the way, to Book of Boba Fett, because they kind of help break the time jump, isms that end up having
if I may, I think we are going to get we are going
to
get something in this.
So
just saying, I hope.
Go
ahead, sorry.
I like that they can do time jumps and have it not be jarring, because it was paralleling the story, kind of like the Anakin and Obi-Wan fight in Kenobi, how it paralleled the whole show the entire time.
Yeah.
It was just
or
like
how
that.
It's like the whole mind chess versus like them actually having like the fight.
And look,
everything,
something else to consider. I think this show's going to be doing a lot of time jumping, because they have showed shots of Cassian without any, without the goatee. His hair was shorter, and it showed that hollow image of him, when he looked young. But I think it's going to be a flashback to when he did, obviously get into the Empire, because he says, all you got to do is wear the uniform and that's
walk
it.
In like you belong.
Walk in like you belong.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and I
so
think
fat and
happy.
They're so fat and satisfied.
Yeah.
Oh man,
so
it's
good.
So good.
It's so
good. It has so much to say, and it's so good.
This is interesting. I want to talk about what Brian said. The Empire didn't weigh in the manufactured soldiers. They weren't bolstered by fascist locals. That's true. So like, like what we were saying
Again,
earlier.
real fascism.
Yes, exactly. You control and pay someone else to do it because
history, kids.
it gives them a false sense of power, right? It's not always going to be the dictator that's in charge. It's the person that's in charge that facilitates the whole thing happening, which is i.e. Palpatine. And like, it's funny, we talk about Palpatine because he's such an interesting character, but you never consider like the truly just horrible things he tried to do, like on a very human level. And that all stems from him being who he is and having that power. I mean, my God, it's incredible. It's so good.
It's absolutely over the top.
Yeah. That's true.
Fifth Element, that's an interesting.
She's talking about I think some of the realism of it, because like in Fifth Element, you see him smoking his cigarettes, you see him driving a cab.
Mundaneness,
yeah.
Which I mean, that's what I enjoyed about. And again, Star Wars Resistance is a little more happy-go-lucky version of the Star Wars mundane.
That's true.
That it was a slice of life. That's why it doesn't get a lot of like pomp and circumstance, because it doesn't feel huge.
Yep.
But this is again like a more, dare we use the words, grounded and everything, like, but a more grounded version of that. It's if you actually lived in Star Wars.
Yeah, Katie, what do you mean by FTP? I don't know what that means. FTP.
For the plot.
I don't know, but I want to bring this in. William makes an incredible point that I'm gonna go full screen on this because I want to rant. This show had the most aliens and alien interactions we have ever seen in the last, besides the Tusken moments with Book of Boba Fett. But this right here was nothing but like, there's that whole scene where that guy and that little alien are arguing the whole time. And I'm like, seen that
again with no subtitles.
Literally, we haven't seen that since maybe 1980. And I'm not doing a bit, or in the prequels with Sebulba and Anakin. Like, you're watching this, you're going, they're doing alien stuff now. And I'm so freaking happy. I was like, this is awesome.
I'm trying to find the name of another alien here. That like, so when the one guy cornered Cassian to talk about the money he owed him.
Yeah.
And he has the big alien company. It's Vrash or something. I'm trying to remember. Hold on.
I think so.
In the chat, if you guys remember what the name of that alien was, please put it in the chat. But hold on here. But I was it Rez, friend of the show, like he was saying, like no one's really talking about
with what?
That alien.
Oh my God.
That like I loved him instantly because of the whole like, he told me to stand here. Again, he sounds like Charlie Ashby. But at the end, I laughed so hard whenever Cassian walks away and the guy turns around and looks at him and he goes, "What?"
So good.
It was so real.
Look,
and human-ish, but like
Vetch
is my fave.
Yeah,
Vetch is my fave. I want more Vetch. Like, I hope he comes back.
What does Katie mean by this? I'm gonna ask her.
Katie in the chat. Well, yeah, just shout at her. What do you mean by FTP? Is that a type of oil?
Not quite sure. We'll find out. But it's weird, right? And let's talk about this. I really, William, this is all absolute. Oh, I muted the wrong word. This is all absolute bull. What? Oh, okay. Katie told me what it is. Hold on, you want to come say it out loud so we can hear it in the camera?
Katie,
F the police is F the it's F the police. It is
That's
a very F
the
the police
one thing
attitude.
I told my buddies at work who watch this. I have one buddy at work who actually watches this stuff. Yeah. And I walk in, I'm like, this is very very that.
Yeah, but not in the like, God, how do I say this too?
Not
it's always a hot button topic for some people. Like,
Katie
not in the like.
Go ahead.
I'll tell you, Katie absolutely hates authority because of what she grew up with. Right. I can't even go into that on the space.
Well, we got to be careful and again tread lightly, but at the same time, I think it's very prudent to hold the institutions of wherever you live up to a high standard.
Yep.
And
exactly.
all people should be treated the exact same. And
I completely agree.
There should be adequate training for the people who do hard jobs.
Yep.
To handle those jobs, and maybe they shouldn't be doing all the jobs that they're doing. Maybe some other people should do some of those jobs, and again, not get rid of them. But anyway, it's sorry, I'm getting into a whole
no. But this is a good
thing.
space cab, right?
Yes.
Literally, it's space. Cops are bastards. Like one thing too.
This was not propaganda. This was not propaganda.
This is not propaganda. And I think William also, this is also a good point, Boop, from earlier. Bad science fiction puts road color glasses up to society. It does. And this is not what that is. This is really good science fiction. Like, this is really good. Like, this is it making sense. And this is also true. It's subtle enough that usual grifters aren't really biting, because you want to know why? Because they don't know. They don't know how to. They don't know how to approach it on a deep, complex level. Not saying we're better than them, but they want to find a way to, like, wokeism or whatever the hell you call it. Like they want
to slap their lunchbox sticker on it and
for
be
the
done
first
with
time,
it, and you can't.
For the first
it actually
time,
takes critical thought.
A Star Wars show is overtly political, and no one knows, especially those kind of people, how to handle an overtly political show. It's not thematic. It is truly like, this is something you're dealing with in your American society. Think about that for 2 seconds. And they're going, well, I didn't like, it's not even about Cassian. You're like, okay, really?
Well, it's not even leaning to one side or the other. It's just the politics, and that the way that we should all care about politics, because that's the way that people are treated in our society we live in.
That's a great point. And you watch the show too, and I forget, okay, who's the pretty face?
There's a lot of pretty faces in this.
Who's the pretty face police officer that kind of goes against the security, commander's rules, and he's like, no, we're gonna go investigate this, guy from Canary. What's his name? The pretty guy, the one.
I don't know the name, but Ben McDonald, again, friend of the show. They did a post that was absolutely like, they were talking about, 'cause I guess a lot of people are like, kind of thirsting after this dude, which I didn't. To me, like, a lot of people are expecting a heel turn where he's going to be good. I don't really think so. He didn't strike me as that type. He struck me as the type that, again, like Ben, like they said, with like a mall cop that they want to run chasing. They want to chase them back to their golf cart with a brick. Ben is the worst. Is one of the best follows on Twitter.
Great follow.
Follow them immediately.
But
like
that being said, it's like you take a character and you also, and this is something that you gotta kind of,
it's like false bravery.
You've also got to cater to this show to it. If someone could put his name in the chat, that'd be great. So we're just calling this him. But when you watch a show like this, it's something nice.
Very.
It gives it, but you get
policey.
You get both sides of it. You get both, which is kind of nice, because you see him struggling with, oh, I just screwed all this up. All these police officers dying, this innocent man dying, this woman getting hurt, is all because of me trying to, improve my stature and thing. He has to get his suit tailored. Like,
well, and again, like they're not full on evil demons.
He's not inherently bad.
Well, and it's like they're people making very bad decisions, doing bad things to other people who need to F off into the sun, frankly. Just because you're not helping anything here.
No.
But no, the fact that he had the false bravery and immediate,
that
like,
awful speech.
Like, God, again, dude, that speech. So that whole sequence, by the way, you mentioned, like, them showing the picture.
Yeah.
That was so. If you've watched a cop show, if you've watched Brooklyn Nine-Nine, the comedy, every episode they had a briefing just like
Reno 911,
like that. Yeah, it feels like our gather around the table, coffee and donuts.
Let's talk.
Here we go. Here's what's going on, and like when they're like any movie where they're going to find the suspect and everything. But that speech, it was an interesting choice to have it. It's almost, in the second time, it was almost comedic.
Yes.
I thought a lot. I forget. I didn't catch all of it the first time. Like,
it was so weird. It was so weird.
It's not like bad necessarily. It's just it's empty platitudes and like stuff he saw on like the HoloNet memes.
Yep.
Or something like it with minions on it. It would be.
We're gonna go out
the
there.
Stuff he said were things that would be like on Facebook, like with minions in the background.
Yeah.
Frankly.
Oh, it's bad.
All of it.
And this is true.
Everyone was just like.
He was told not. He goes, let's just give him a.
One guy
honor.
cracks up.
Yeah, that was great when he was like his security officer, the guy in charge of him, like, look, I'm gonna be out of town for a few days. I don't want you just give him a nice honorable thing. They got. And the crazy part, he's like, yeah, look, they were at a brothel they couldn't afford. They were at a brothel. They were drinking the job. Those two cops are doing things they should not have been doing, and let's honor them instead of trying to get revenge for him. And then literally, like Brian says, this guy's like, no, I'm going to investigate. I'm going to get all these people out here.
Well,
and then he blows up his ship and gets like 5 of them killed. And you're like,
yeah,
he's screwed. Like, you're almost concerned for him because it's not just because he's a good guy or a bad guy. You're like, this guy pushed the line. He did not know where to stop. And that's what happens. That is what happens when you get greedy.
And I mean, like, even like the guy wasn't even talking about like, let's honor them. He was straight up saying, no, we got to tell a lie because they don't need to know that they were out of the brothel.
Yes.
Was it like the whole like thing? Like, they were at they don't need to know they were in the leisure zone.
Yep.
They were at one of the brothels, which is unacceptable.
Illegal, yeah.
Which is illegal, or the most expensive one, which they can't afford, drinking this, which is a dismissible offense. And they were on the job.
Yeah.
So let's say they were doing nothing, no parade. Let's have this like, which again is something that never happens in real life.
No, not at all.
No one gets their evil, or not their evil, their normal, like everyone kind of does dumb stuff. Like, no, that never happens. Anyway, sorry.
It's funny because you watch, we're both from the South, and I don't know how police officers are in the North, Jerry, but sometimes it depends on where you live. They act different. They do different things. Literally, like if they were to pull if they were to pull someone my dad's age over and they pulled him over for whatever, he'd probably get to go away. But if it's a younger person, they've got a clean record or whatever it is, they'll probably give you the round. And they've done that to Katie. Right. And Katie, best thing, Katie does not respect them in the sense of like, why did you pull me over? She's literally cursed them out. You're an idiot. You're worthless. Like the whole entire time. And not being hostile, just like, I don't have to respect you because I'm told to respect you. And that's something I love about Katie, because you're just another person who happens to be in charge of enforcing a law that is also man-made. Right. It's very interesting. You watch a show like this and you go, I can see why people have jaded feelings towards police officers. Or you can also watch a show and go, man, they get all kinds of shit. You know what I mean? Like it's a weird balance of what is right, what is wrong. But and that's true. This is 100% correct. No one is owed respect. Not that way.
You have to
human decency. No. Yes, but you don't have to instantly respect someone because of their stature and what they are wearing and who they are. There's still another person that does the same stupid. There's still they still have to wipe their ass. Like that's not a joke. Like that is just another person that's doing something, and that happens to be their role in society. Like as a teacher, you don't have to respect me. You don't even have to like me, right? Jerry, you're in charge of the food industry. I don't have to respect you or like you for what you do.
I don't get respected at all. No.
See, and that's the thing. And this show can teach you that on a subtle level. Like the Jedi, and this is a great example for the Martez sisters. They hated the Jedi. They did not have any respect for the Jedi or like them, and it makes sense.
Sorry, he's talking. Will's bringing up that when he's talking about the alterations he made to his uniform, he did custom piping.
Yes, but like. Hey, people take pride. People take pride in their job, and he's one of them.
Absolutely.
And you see what happens whenever you take your job too far and you think you're doing the right thing when inevitably and
when that power is handed to people who don't deserve it.
She needs to be on this right now. Hold on. Hey, this is great.
Yeah, Katie, why aren't you doing this show?
She's doing this is great. Literally, it's just but you ain't saving the world by giving me a fine for going 7. It's just
no. They're keeping their department afloat and everything with
and
that.
That's what
they're keeping like the coffers full of the state and whatever. It's. I mean, honestly, but again, you can say this is how the world works. Yes, but you can also say. It's a little weird, a little dumb, isn't it?
It's nice.
It's a little messed up.
And this is something we could talk about too before we get into the nitty-gritty conversation. But
again, not saying we want to be able to do whatever we want to do. Well, there's consequences for shit. But anyway,
I think it's nice to, and I love Joseph Campbell, that, but it's kind of nice to walk away from the Campbellian hero's journey. Ultra themed, Star Wars in the sense of like, this is just old anthropology. This is all something that's been passed down from person to person. It's kind of nice to finally get something that's like, no, this is human. This is real. This is everything that you wouldn't expect a Star Wars to be at this point, and it is, and it's, and it's genuinely, and it's so weird. It's almost a breath of fresh air. like, you know, Marvel movies play with genre, Marvel movies play with tone and everything with every movie, but Star Wars has always been consistent across the board with like the hopeful aspect, and this show is indeed hopeful. But there's certain things about this show, you watch it and you go, wow, this is like on such a real level that I haven't seen Star Wars get to personally in ever. Like truly real. This is not your space, you know, this is not happening in a galaxy far, far away. This is happening when I get pulled over for, like Katie said, going seven miles per hour of the speed limit. You know, when someone's getting murdered out there, or there's a rich lawyer who just got away with like stealing millions of dollars from a family. Like it's like why am I the problem when there's so much other things going on in the world? Like
Right.
what are you doing? What am I doing that's such a bad thing? I don't know. It's this show makes you think about that for once.
It's
And
very
I
it's very
haven't had that with
complicated,
Star
but life
Wars.
is complicated.
Yeah,
So.
I haven't had that with Star Wars yet, where I consider the court system or the legal system of it all. It's kind of beautiful. It's kind of it's refreshing in that sense, dude. It really is. Any other thoughts on that? Because I wanted to get to the dark and gritty conversation because I hate that.
Oh, we haven't had that yet.
We have, well, no. I'm saying it. Actually, let's get into it. Screw it. I want to say this. Okay. Has anyone ever seen A New Hope? Okay, I hope you have.
Everywhere. Yeah.
Literally. Uncle Owen and Aunt Beru get burned and killed. Like they literally, you see their skeletons. You've got
a delightful
the Death Star.
family romp.
You see a mass genocide. Okay. You see literally
they burn freaking they kill an entire like
fleet of
thing of Jawas that they just sold the droids to them.
Yep.
They burn a pile of their bodies
Yes.
because can't really do anything else.
Everyone says, and then let's take one step further. Empire Strikes Back. You see the rebels lose. You know, the Battle of Hoth. You're seeing people get blown up, thrown in the air. You've got all kinds of
every time a ship blows up, that person's dead. That person gets
yes.
incinerated.
Yes,
I hope you know.
Same with Return of the Jedi. You get all kinds of death. You get people in the Death Star that die. You get people
the dude
in the
that
rebellion
flies
that
into
die.
the ship. Like there's
Yes.
like, I mean, there's so much.
And then obviously the prequels, you get slavery. You get a mother and son being abandoned from each other. You go into Attack of the Clones.
More
you
so
watch
horrifically in the Clone Wars as
Yes.
well, like seeing more of the process, which was, I mean, that anyway.
You get in this show, you get an Attack of the Clones, you get a mother dying in the arms of her son, and then vice versa with Luke and Vader in Return of the Jedi. Like, I don't get the whole, and of course, don't even let me bring in Return of the Jedi. I mean, Revenge of the Sith. That whole damn movie is like just a vitriolic, like
that whole movie
God.
was like a shot at George Bush.
Yes, but like
ask George Lucas himself
Yes.
who he was talking about.
But it's funny, and yes, obviously, look, a sex worker in Jawas, but there's literally a woman in like a bikini slave costume with bondage or the bondage strap on her neck. Like, you can't tell me
he feeds her to his dog.
Yes,
basically.
literally. You watch. Okay, so you take all that. You see a beheading in Clone Wars. You see all kinds of heinous shit in Rebels. You see mass genocide in Rebels as well of Sabine's people. Literally, like, and then the Mandalorian. You hear that there's a mass genocide. You see another mass genocide.
The Force Awakens.
Yes,
like they shoot the entire village
and they kill. Yes, you see it in the opening
Jedi,
scene.
Everyone gets killed in
Cap
the beginning.
and Kennedy, all of it. Yep. God,
I mean, just like
Paige
like Rose's
Tico.
sister, Paige.
Yep.
Like you see her like last moments.
Yep.
Like it's this has always been a part of this.
It's so funny. You got people that are like, it's never been nitty gritty. Like, it always has been dark and gritty. Always, like, don't lie to yourself.
I want to see an alien species now that just looks like gritty.
This is the first time
the mascot.
This is the first time it's been stylized this way. And I will admit, it is nice to see a Blade Runner-esque Star Wars for once, because that movie is anything but dark and gritty and kind of, makes you nervous in certain ways.
Right.
Look, see, yeah, that's amazing. But like, it's so weird. I hate that phrase being thrown around because it's tasteless. You got to consider the thematic sense, not just the stylistic sense. You watch a Star Wars, and yes, you literally watch Grogu watch all of his Jedi Masters get killed, and I almost said a curse word. For F's sake, in the beginning of Kenobi,
That's my job.
There was a trigger warning for people that has to do with school shootings.
We had the damn school school shooting, but also don't excuse me.
But that's the Jedi
right
Purge.
before that.
Yes, that is the Jedi Purge. So I don't care what you say. Star Wars has been more nitty gritty than it has ever been in Andor at this point. Maybe it doesn't look that way, but like Andor, for the most part, is as nitty gritty as the Phantom Menace is. And so far, like we're not even there yet.
It feels like Rogue One. Like
Yes,
the grittiness of Rogue One it goes right into it.
It's a stylistic thing. It is not story content. If you, like I said, if you were to compare this show to anything, it's no more nitty gritty thematically than, you know, the Phantom Menace. Like A New Hope is a little bit darker than this movie. If you want dark and gritty, don't watch Star Wars, or I mean, watch every Star Wars, because that's what it all is. It's annoying. It's so frustrating. I hate that. I hate that everyone's trying to tag it like that when it's not that at all. It's more. It's more, and it is that. I need to take that back. It is dark and whatever, but it's not, because everything always has been. Always has been.
It deals more. It is not. It's not ham-fisted, but it is very. It's almost a 1-for-1 for real world problems.
Exactly.
It is putting real world situations that you can encounter on Earth.
Literally,
these situations happen to people every day.
Yep.
And like him getting harassed by the police, and then again, like the accidentally killing one, and then just killing the other, because what am I going to do? You know?
What am I going to do? Literally.
What do you just, and I mean, the whole, again, like Tim, we talked about at the beginning, because that was just so like, wow.
Whoa.
People get shot like that in those high tense situations
in real life all the time.
Every day, multiple times a day.
Yep.
You let that sink in. And this show is saying, isn't this a little messed up? You know,
but it's weird. It's like people want to use the term woke politics when it's not. Okay, that it's obviously a terrible and unusable phrase by people that are intelligent. But when you say that, like, there's nothing woke about identifying when shit like that happens in real life. Like, this is not just like it's not just like it's woke because it's talking about something, you know, modern. No, this is literally happens. This happens in Baton Rouge. This happens in Michigan. Like, these things happen
everywhere.
Like, everywhere. It's not just
and more often than it even used to. I mean, like, it's escalating.
Yes,
like it is in this universe that we're watching on TV, which is why, again, Luthen, which I'm watching that scene right now. Wouldn't you like to come with me? Don't you want to fight these bastards for real?
Yes,
which is a great,
awesome.
This
line.
Last episode, again, it's a type of hope. Again, it's that the sound of a reckoning, but not in like a it's dark and gritty and we're gonna like rip people's guts out. We believe in something higher, and we're gonna fight so that our children and our children's children don't have to stay under this darkness that we're under right now. He says, like, the voice telling you to stop, telling you to go, telling you to die, which is, again, every man, there's so much just absolutely packed dialogue in this. Just, like,
I agree.
Absolutely beautiful, packed full of meaning.
I agree.
So, yeah.
And this is a true comment.
It
always has been, and it always will be. It might be done
George's
differently.
Creation.
It might be done differently, but this is maybe the most George political Star Wars we've ever gotten overtly.
Honestly,
and it's beautiful. I bet he loves it.
If you're mad at the politics in this, George, you're going to be mad at George.
You're not going to understand him. And that's agree. It's never been star peace, no matter how much you dream for it. That's not the point of it. It's about conflict.
It's about teaching. Well, again, it's morality tales for kids, but also it's to teach even adults. This could be one. This is one that could teach adults.
Oh, and
I want to make a better world. I want to be a better person. I want to make my world a better world for everyone who is to come.
Well, look, you see it,
and myself and my children.
You see it on like a shaky phone video when something like actually horrible happens, and you watch like a real person in real life die, which was the society we live in now. But when you see it through an artistic way, it hits you in a different way, because you can expect something when you see it on your phone. I know that's messed up, but you know the outcome. But when you're watching a TV show and it's a show that you're in a franchise that you love, you go, oh wow, like, wait a minute, this is this is hitting too close to home, and you have to come
Yeah.
to terms with that thing. It's kind of awesome. But let's see what these are going to go through. It feels like it's important, and I agree. Look, I will not deny that at this point because it is pretty awesome.
It's gonna make that part like Scotty. I'd be interested after all of this series is over, is watching Rogue One with you, and maybe we should do that for the patrons.
Oh, I would love that. We got a while, but I would love that.
I think we're gonna cry together when that moment comes. When Cassian says, "All of us have done terrible things in the name of the rebellion,
and we know
we
it
want to do
now."
one good thing." When I'm tearing up just thinking about it, one good thing before they go. Yeah, they know they're not coming back. Frankly, I think when they leave, they're like, "We're not coming back. We're going by ourselves."
This comment from Jared
mission
is brilliant. 90% of the mean Zack Snyder. 90% of people mean Zack Snyder when they say dark and gritty. All they want is gratuitous hyper violence. They want Star Wars aesthetic with R-rated content, and they don't really gel. This is darkness, and so it is. And look, William Emmett says it better here.
This is as close to R-rated Star Wars as you're gonna get.
Idea I've ever heard, because it doesn't have to necessarily be R-rated. It just needs to be graphic enough to get the point across. And this show did that with one blaster bolt to the chest. And I was like, Jesus, like this is, and like when he shot the cop in the head, I was like,
at the beginning in the face.
Yes, I was like,
in the face to add a little bit of levity here. Because this is a very, again, not that we have heavy conversations on Bombad. Of course, we've done it before, and again, this isn't heavy. Again, there's that hope of we're in this together. Let's fight these bastards for real. Like, don't you want to really do something that matters to change what is going on around us and everything? Anyway, I can't get off of that. They're like that whole, this is the Citizens Fleet, but more in person. I can apply this more, or it's more specific. I can apply this to a specific mindset or way of thinking in my life, and use it going forward, That's all I got. So.
It's very well done. So real quick, we've been told, and this is not going to be a spoiler for anyone here, we know the next episode is Mon Mothma centric, and not to say that it doesn't come with its things, but like if we're really returning back to Coruscant, like on a full-fledged Coruscant scale, y'all don't know how much I'm going to lose my mind, because we got it in
You're
Kenobi,
gonna cry.
And it was well done in Kenobi. It wasn't a whole moment. It was a moment rather than a whole thing. But I think this show is going to be like, yeah, we're fully back. This is
going to be that
looks like now, and I can't freaking wait. If it's because they're probably going to do a time jump, maybe not. I don't know. They might say 7 BBYs or 10 BBY next episode, whatever. But
God, I'm so excited.
I know, because we know.
Well, and like all of our friends who have seen the 4th episode are like, I'm really excited for everyone to see that, because it's got some of their favorite stuff yet. And to see, again, we're seeing the boots on the ground in these first 3. We're about to see someone who is in the system, trying to work things and trying to do things that, and doesn't want to go to war, but is slowly finding out this is inevitable. We're not going to be able to change people's minds with speeches.
This is great, and this is
is a real thing. Yeah,
this is something that you'll get. Yeah, this whole next episode apparently is Mon Mothma centric, which is so exciting. And what I'm happy for is
Vivo Riley.
I think, with these screeners, they have the right to give as many screeners as they want to whoever wants to see it and who has to see it. But I think this is foretelling to me that like episodes 5 through 12 are going to be kind of like not lore heavy. I'm not trying to get my brain hyped up for that. But I think episodes 5 through 12
we're gonna have like big legacy characters. We already have Mothma.
Yeah, which is insane. That already counts. I think the one big one, and I said this the other day, I think Masamita is gonna have to show up, because they're not gonna give us Palpatine. Palpatine's obviously in the back doing this stuff, but we knew Masamita was in front. And if we get Masamita, that is enough. Literally, for this one show, that is enough to satisfy me greatly.
Honestly, that would be now I kind of want that, because that would be, we haven't spent much time with him besides him just going, yes, Chancellor, I agree with everything you're saying.
I know.
Also,
and if we get
mustache twirly evil villain.
Yep. If we get more,
give him layers.
Yes. Make me care about Masamita.
To have him be the foil of Mothma,
God,
honestly is kind of brilliant.
Yeah.
Because right now Palpatine's kind of shutting himself off and everything.
Yep.
Like what he's trying to make people think that he's still benevolent. Like, oh, I'm not deformed. Like I said,
Yep.
you know, like
God, I
20
hope we
years
see
ago
that
or
too,
so.
dude. That'd be insane.
I want to see, like Ian
the
McDermott, just
holocron,
like no makeup or anything. Just like, I love democracy.
Yep, he just looks a little bit
And
older.
my new empire, you know, just
So
different,
awesome.
Like, I think we're in for some cool stuff,
Mhm.
but I'm not expecting, like, I don't expect we're going to see Vader pop up. I don't expect we're going to see, like I saw, like, a very popular YouTuber was like, oh, I can't wait for, I think Krennic and this guy and this guy and this guy should show up. And I'm like, no.
There's no point.
No, Krennic
It's
has
not their
nothing to do
story.
with Cassian.
Nope.
Krennic is Jin's. Like, that's Jin's family. Like,
Yep.
no, the Empire is way too big.
I mean, literally,
we're seeing.
At most, it'd be cool to see Tarkin, but I'm not holding my breath either. Like, they can deep
We've
fake
already
Tarkin now
got
too.
the female ISB agent that we haven't even met yet.
Wait
We've
for that. I
we've
can't
got
wait
the
for more
two, like,
ISB stuff. I can't wait.
Dude, we're
to
getting
see
that.
the
Dude,
inner
we're getting like
workings.
live action ISB, like
Oh,
espionage
Jesus.
shit, and we're getting you know, there's the whole like the Imperial officers raising the wine glasses when he's saying fat and satisfied, which is very it's very exciting.
Yep.
The characterizations are, again, it's so human. It's scary, but it's anyway.
This is good.
We're talking in circles here.
No, it's
Oh,
okay.
yeah,
We're gonna wrap it up soon. This is Brian saying that Empire, the first season is gonna be more about Cassian and his life, which is great. And then, however, season 2 will cover 4 years total, jumping 1 year ahead every 3 episodes. So I think that'll make sense. I think Tony Gilroy said that himself.
Right.
But
right.
yeah, and you're right. There's going to be a lot of flashbacks at some point. We're definitely going to see him. Imador goes, oh, okay, good to know. Will Beatty with the deets, fam, with the deets.
All right, thanks, Will.
What YouTuber I think we could tell him?
Listen, I don't know if I can tell you, but I have a theory. So
moving on.
What else now?
All right, the last thing we're going to talk about. Yes, it is a spy espionage show, and that is exactly what this is. It's kind of James Bondy, but without the you know.
Well, someone say it's Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
What people were saying.
Oh, he meant for Obi-Wan.
Kind of, but not.
By the way, he meant for Obi-Wan.
Okay.
Well, let's wrap here. Let's plug real quick because I want to bring this in. This is going to be part of our Patreon. So our patrons that like our coverage of Andor, if you like tonight, and it might be a lot of that, we're going to be doing this every Wednesday at 7:15 Central, all the way to 7:45. Only the patrons will have access to that. We will do coverage of Andor more than likely towards the end of its run, or if a episode drops that's extremely enticing, which you never know. It could be every week. I mean, I don't know. I can't guarantee, but
hey,
it's possible.
We'll do our best. You know,
it's possible,
yeah,
but I guarantee, and for our patrons that have joined, I feel bad that we haven't had the opportunity to really devote our time to Patreon because of Podathon.
Scotty has been really, really busting his ass with Podathon.
Yeah, and it's done. We did it.
Life has been in the way and everything. Yeah, but yeah, we love you. We haven't
going back
forgotten
into
you.
it. Going back into it.
Full
But
swing.
All that being said, Gerry, can you get us out of this whole entire experience for the evening? Anything you want to say? Oh wait, next week we actually don't have anything scheduled for next week, so maybe we'll cover Andor again. I don't know. We
might have to. I think we talked about maybe have someone on. We need. See, guys, listen. We need to have a meeting
Sunday.
Sunday.
Let's chat for real. Sunday we'll call when you don't have L. But one real quick thing I want to bring this up. Our October is stacked so far, so things to look forward to. We're gonna have a discussion about the movie Nope. It comes out on Blu-ray from that time. We're also gonna have our Star Wars creepy pasta. And we're gonna end up doing an episode of what we used to call Beyond, but I'm sure we can give it a different name. We'll end up talking about
which I have to start working on.
Yeah, we'll do some spooky stuff.
We might have recruited. I might have recruited friend of the show, fan of the show, my sibling.
That's right.
My sib from another nib.
The
one and only Boop, the cryptid Boop. Boopenheim. And we still need to get on a call too and everything because I mentioned it to them and then here we are. But Boopenheim, the master of scares, Boop, get ready to scream. I have a new neighbor downstairs. I'm sure that they are absolutely terrified of me. boop,
boop, boop, boop, boop, boop, boop, boop, boop.
Did you say poop?
Boop, 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 boop. Boop, 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 boop.
Cassian.
Cassian. Anyway, this has been a great Bombad cast, obviously. Glad everyone could join this evening. We will give y'all updates as shows get updated as well. But you know what, Jerry? What should the wonderful people do?
Keep clanging those like whatever metal thing you have to scare away the fascist security officers, and then when you stop, make sure it's extremely silent so that the tension was insane there.
Yeah, that was insane.
Sorry, that part just happened. That was like I had a knot in my stomach. But after you do that and you drive them away from your planet and you're free again, even while you're doing that, stay Bombad. Noodles eat like our god. That's what it says.
No, it's eat like noodles, our god.
Did you say impossible? Pasquale? Only kidding, Chucky. I've changed my tune because I finally thought of a possible dream that we can all share. What is it?
Pasquale?
It's a dream about a world when nobody is poor or sick or hungry.
Oh, now that's a dream we can make come true.
I'm gonna make a change for once in my life. It's gonna feel real good, gonna make a difference, gonna make it right.
As I point up the collar on my favorite winter coat, this wind is blowing my mind.
I see the kids in the street with not enough to eat. Who am I to be blind, pretending not to see their need? A soundless disregard, a broken bottle top,
and a one-man soul. They follow each other on the wind, you know, 'cause they got nowhere to go. That's why I want you to know I'm starting with the man in the mirror. I'm asking him to change his ways, and no message could have been any clearer.
If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
come on, change. No message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change. I'm starting with the man in the mirror. Oh yeah,
I'm asking him to change his ways.
no message could have been any clearer. If you want to make the world a better place, take a look at yourself and then make a change.
Time for us to take a break, but we wouldn't dream of being gone for long. See you in a little bit.
You lost to me in trivia. Honesty hurts sometimes.